Good morning to everybody. Today we will go to start morphology and modification in plants. I am Dr. Arun Kumar Rath from Sri Jaydev College of Education and Technology, Bhubaneswar. You know what is morphology? Now, morphology is study about external form, feature and structure of any organism. And if we will go to study the external structure of the plants, so that is called as plant morphology. And if we will go to the study about the external structure of the animals, that is called as animal morphology. And if we will go to study the internal structure of the any organism, that is called as anatomy. So, first we should go in detail about the syllabus. So, syllabus includes morphology and modification in plants. First part deals with tissues, anatomy and function of different parts of flowering plants. Then that is root, stem, leaf. Then in morphology we will study about inflorescence, that is cymose and racemose, then flower, fruit, seed. So, we will start with root and we should complete with seed. Before going to details, we should know what we will study under the plant morphology. We will study about the root, stem, leaf, inflorescence, flower, fruit, seed, floral formulas and floral diagrams if possible. So, we will go to start the first root. So, root you know ओडिया रे ताकू आमे कहूचु चेरो एंड नेक्स्ट इज द स्टेम कांड लीफ पत्र. तो इफ विल कंबाइन एवरीथिंग देन दैट इज कॉल्ड एज कंप्लीट फ्लावरिंग प्लांट्स. सो मॉर्फोलॉजी इज द ब्रांच ऑफ बायोलॉजी व्हिच डील्स विथ स्टडी ऑफ फॉर्म, स्ट्रक्चर एंड रिलेटिव पोजीशन ऑफ डिफरेंट ऑर्गन्स लाइक लीफ, फ्लावर, फ्रूट एक्सेट्रा. So, flowering plants are otherwise called as angiosperms, are actually seed bearing plants in which seeds are always enclosed in an ovary inside the fruits and sporophylls are organized into flowers. And the angiospermic plants have been classified into two major groups, that is monocots and dicots. We know that monocots are having only one cotyledon and dicots are having only two cotyledons. So, we can frankly speaking or broadly we can speak, plant morphology refers to the study of external form and structure of plants as well as plant parts. The flowering plants consist of an axis, root system and shoot system. Shoot system lies above the ground and root system is generally present inside the soil or below the ground. Shoot system having branches, having leaves, flowers and fruits. The root, leaves and branches constitute the vegetative parts of the plant. The flowers, fruits and seeds form the reproductive parts of the plant. Now, we will go to see the whole structure of a typical flowering plant. एटी तुम देखि पारुथबो माटी भितरे जोटा रहिछि दैट इज ए रूट. प्रथमे जो रूट बाहरला ताकू हमें कहबा प्राइमरी रूट एवं जो रूट बाहरला प्राइमरी रूट रु ताकू हमें कहबा सेकेंडरी रूट. The primary plus secondary root, they are constituting the what? Root system. Above the ground, mati upar ku je rahila, totally this is the shoot system, and shoot system comprises stem, leaf, branches, node, internode, bud, flower, fruit, etc. तो एगुड़ा में डिटेल्स देखिलु. तो ए जिनस रे दे रहिछि ऊपर पार्ट दैट इज ए शूट. शूट भितर ब्रांच बाहरी छोट छोट ब्रांच बाहरला पूर्व से कौन होउछि ना छोट पार्ट आकर देखा जे ताको हमें कहउछु बड. then definitely flower will be produced as it is a flowering plant. after fertilization will get the particularly the fruit, and fruit inside the fruit will get the seed. So, now we will go to start the root. So, root is the descending mane upparu talaku jiba. So, root is the descending non green, generally brown, underground mati bhitare rahichi, positively geotropic towards the earth, and hydrotropic means going towards water, lacking nodes, internodes, leaves and buds, and developed from radicle. Develops from radicle, radicle. In majority of the dicotyledonous plants, the direct elongation of the radicle leads to the formation of primary root, which grows inside the soil. It bears lateral roots. So, primary root produces lateral root of several orders that are referred to as secondary, tertiary, etc. The primary roots and its branches constitute the taproot system, and we will get the taproot system in mustard plant or in the soriso. In monocotyledonous plants, the primary root is short lived. Monocot plant re kon habo na primary root is developed first, but it has to exist for a short period and is replaced by large number of roots. A primary root generally replaced by large number of roots, and these roots originate from the base of the stem and constitute the fibrous root system. And the fibrous root system is commonly found in wheat plant. जोटा कि तुम देखुच गहम गच्छरे आमे पाइबु फाइब्रस रूट, धान गच्छरे पाइबु, मुथा गच्छरे पाइबु, पियाज रे पाइबु, रसुन रे पाइबु, and these are the example of fibrous root. In some plant like grass, monstera and the banyan tree baragacha, roots arise from parts of the plant other than radicle and are called adventitious root. So, what is adventitious root? Now, type of root generally not developed directly from the radicle, and other parts of the plant other than radicle is the adventitious roots. So, adventitious roots are mainly found in monocots, exclusively found in monocots, and also found in few dicots. And adventitious roots can be grouped into three types on the basis of their appearance. Tini type re vibhakta kara jaichi basis of the appearance. So, it may be arising from the base of the stem ra tolu bahari pare. So, that is called as particularly called as found in triticum. Then roots arising from leaves, so that is a leaf origin, so that is called as bryophyllum or amoropoi. Roots developing from nodes and internodes, gonthi kiba dita gonthi bhitere jo gap rahichi, sometimes the roots are also developed and they are also considered under adventitious roots. तो बर्तमान में चित्र देखिबा तो एठी देखो मेन रूट रहिछि, मेन रूट जो साइड रो बाहरला रूट चेरो माने ताको हम कहलु लेटरल रूट एवं एठी कोन अछि ना दिज द फाइब्रस रूट मेंचाई रूट बाहरिछि देखो धान गछ टाइप रहिछि ऊपर कटा जाइछि मेंचाई रूट बाहरिला अदर ध्यान देखो एठी नोड इंटरनोड गुडाई रूट बाहरिछि एवं नोड इंटरनोड गुडाई रूट बाहरला such type of root is generally called as adventitious root. Then now we will go to taproot. The taproot देखो directly it is developed from the radicle. So, if we will germinate a seed, first the radicle will appear and radicle is directly gives rise to the primary root. So, in later stages it is converted to taproot. तो एठी कौन ला देखो ये taproot system है गला, ये ला primary, primary जी बाहला that is secondary, secondary जी बाहला that is tertiary. So, it is a taproot type of system. एठी कौन है ना taproot बदल रे मेंचाई root बाहर base of the stem, and so it is called as adventitious root. So, adventitious root is a very common feature in monocot, where a taproot system is a very common feature in dicot as well as gymnosperm. And the main function of the root system are, the main function देखिबा root system कौन ना it generally absorb the water and minerals from the soil, providing a proper anchorage भिडी धरिबा माटी को तो रूट र काम होला माटी को भिडी धरिबो सो भिडी धरिबा होला proper anchorage to the plant parts, storing reserve food material. If excess food material is there, then it is to store, and sometimes also synthesize the phytohormones or the plant growth regulators. They are also synthesizing by the root. Now we'll go to the regions of the root. कौन जोन किंबा रूट रे रीजन अच्छे आम ताकू जानिबा एवं जनरली 3 रु 4 भाग रे विभक्त करा जायछि गोटे ला रूट कैप रीजन and above the root cap region one region is present, that is called region of meristematic activity, and above that region of elongation, and finally the maturation zone is present, which generally comprises many number of root hairs, and above the root hair region also maturation zone is present. So root consists of 4 major zones, that is root cap, meristematic zone, zone of cell elongation and maturation zone. So root hair regions are helping in absorption of water. Root hair region is generally pani guda absorb huanti. So if the more amount of root hairs, rate of absorption will be high in particular plant. So root hair regions are helping in absorption of water, whereas the region of cell division as well as region of cell elongation and sometimes the meristematic activity zone are responsible for absorption of minerals. So minerals are generally absorbed majorly by the region of cell division and cell elongation, whereas the water get absorbed by the particularly the root hair region. Then now we will go to the modification of root. The modification root देखिबो ये किमितिका देखा जाउची ना ये देखा जाउची बीट टाइप रा, ये देखा जाउची गाजर कैरट, ये देखा जाउची कंदमूल किंबा स्वीट पोटैटो एवं ये ला सतमूली गछ जोटा कि आलू टाइप रा मेंचा मेंचा रहिची एंड दिस इज ए मेन ग्रुप प्लांट हेंताळ बन जेतु कादुओ जगार लुण पानी रे देखा जाए तो चारिपटे गुड़ाए रूट अच्छी एवं यही रूट गुड़ा को आम जनरली कहूचु रेस्पिरेटरी रूट और आम ताको कहूचु निमाटोफोर. तो मॉडिफिकेशन रूट्स में बी मॉडिफाइड फॉर सपोर्ट, particularly banyan tree, they are having particularly the pillar like structure and that is a support system. Storage of food, mula, sweet potato, gajar, beet, so these are generally modified for storage of food. And sometimes also respiration found in hydrophytic plants like Pistia, and also in particular main group plant like Soneratia, Avicennia, not the Rhizophora. So roots are modified for support, for storage of food and generally for performing the respiration, and in banyan tree they are performing the mechanical support, and such type of root is called as prop root. So this is all about your root. Now we will go to the stem. So stem already ame janichu is the above portion of the plant is generally shoot, and major part of the shoot is the stem. So stem is the aerial part of the plant, positively phototropic, develops from plumule of the embryo and bears nodes and internodes. So definitely it is developed from the plumule, and phototropic means move towards light and possesses nodes and internodes. गंठी टाइप जिनिस रही एणु देखा गोटे बाउंस गछ जदि आम स्ट्रक्चर नबा देख ए जॉइंट जो बाउंसर गंठी रही आम नोड कहलु, एटी गोटे नोड अच्छी दीटा नोड भितर जो स्ट्रक्चर रहा ताकू आम कहलु इंटरनोड. सो in between the node and internode it is a pipe like structure, and the hollow pipe like structure stem is called as culm, and it is generally branch. So node ru kon hobo na branch baharibo, and branch generally growing from the node. So एथि ए चित्र रे हमें नोड इंटरनोड बाउंसर देखैछु. तो नोड इंटरनोड भाबुची तुमरो किछि प्रॉब्लम नाही, तेनु काठ गछ रे जोटी गंठी थिबो सेला नोड, दीटा गंठी भितर जो सीधा जगह थिबो दैट इज द इंटरनोड. So nodes and internodes are very common feature of the stem or the shoot system. Now we will go to general characteristics of the stem. तो आमे वर्तमान general characteristics of the stem विषय जिबा. So the stem is the ascending part of the axis, bearing branches. Ascending mean uparaku, tolu uparaku utiba ascending, uparu toluku jiba descending. So stem is the ascending part of the axis, bearing branches, leaves, flowers and fruits. It develops from the plumule of the embryo of a germinating seed. The stem bears nodes and internodes. The region of the stem where leaves are born are called nodes, while the internodes are the portions between the two nodes. So the stem bears buds which may be terminal or axillary. So stem definitely possesses buds which may be terminal or axillary. Terminal means अग्रभाग किंबा apical portion रे रहिबो, axillary means joint portion रे रहिबो, ताको हमें कहबा axillary. So the main function of the stem are, what are the main function? Now spreading out branches bearing leaves, flowers and fruit. तो ये कौन करिबो ना stem spread करिबो गुडाए branch जो उतरे पत्र रहिबो, फूल रहिबो, फल रहिबो, and also conducts water, पानी मध्य से conduct करिबो, minerals मध्य conduct करिबो, and green stem जदि हेतिबो एवं leaf अछि, definitely it perform the photosynthesis. So photosynthetic products are called as photosynthetes. Some stems perform the function of storage of food, support, protection and also vegetative propagation. एठी किछि हमें स्टेम रो मॉडिफिकेशन नेचु. एठी देखो अदा हला राइजोम, इट इज अंडरग्राउंड पार्ट एंड इज अ मॉडिफिकेशन ऑफ स्टेम राइजोम. एठी हमें जनरली याम खंबाल टाइप रो नेचु, इट इज आल्सो स्टेम. एठी हमें नेचु पोटैटो इज आल्सो स्टेम एंड स्टेम मॉडिफाइड टेंड्रिल. एठी देखो कखारु गछर जंक्शन रे देखिबो हुक टाइप रो स्ट्रक्चर द मुडी मुडी थिबो, दिस इज मॉडिफिकेशन इनटू टेंड्रिल. देन व्हाट हैपन ना स्टेम रो गोटे लीफ जो बाहरला स्टेम भीतर जंक्शन अछि, इट समटाइम्स इन फ्यू प्लांट इट इज मॉडिफाइड टू स्पाइन किबा कंटा टाइप रो मॉडिफिकेशन हैला. एंड रूट्स आर आल्सो डेवलप्ड फ्रॉम द नोड्स. एटी देखो रूट्स गुडा सो नोड स्टेम रो नोड रो मध्ये बाहरी छि. सो दीज आर द मॉडिफिकेशन ऑफ द फ्यू स्टेम. नाउ विल गो टू details particularly in a form of chart about the modification of stem. जोटा डायग्राम देखेली तर चार्ट गुडा हमें किछि जिंस रखिछु फॉर फूड स्टोरेज. खाद्य स्टोर करिकि रखिया पई कोन हेछि ना राइजम. राइजम हला अदा रे मॉडिफिकेशन होछि राइजम. पोटैटो आलू रे हला ताको से स्टेम मॉडिफिकेशन हमें कहबो ट्यूबर. पियाज अनियन ताको हमें कहबो बल्ब. सारू बन सारू एगुडा को हमें कहबो कॉर्न. बुझियला नै. So rhizome is found in ginger, potato having the tuber, onion having the bulb and colocasia having the corm. Then for the support, sometimes it will support something, grow करके ऊपर को उठी जाओ support नबो. So stem tendrils of watermelon. जो तुमर तरबुज रही छि तार मध्य टेंड्रिल होछि, pumpkin कखारु कुकुम्बर मध्य टेंड्रिल होछि, टेंड्रिल फल रे से ऊपर को उठी पारिबो. Protection purpose by auxiliary buds of the stem of citrus, पर्टिकुलर कंटा आकार मॉडिफाई होची प्रोटेक्शन दवा पई बाहर जिंस के खाई परिबे नाही. बोगनविलिया कागज फूल मध्य मॉडिफाइड टू थॉर्न्स. फॉर वेजिटेटिव प्रोपगेशन काटी के हम लगेई परिबा के नेचुरली ग्रो हेई परिबो. सेतिरे हमर आसिला अंडरग्राउंड स्टेम ऑफ ग्रास, स्ट्रॉबेरी, लैटरल ब्रांचेस ऑफ मिंट एंड जस्मिन. मिंट हला तुमरो पुदीना, जस्मिन हला तुमरो कोन ना मल्ली फूल. एमानंकर मध्य किछि जगह रे वेजिटेटिव प्रोपगेशन नेचुरली होउची किमा काटी के मध्य हम लगेई पारुछु. For assimilation of food, sometimes they also synthesize the food, particularly in Opuntia Nagopeni, because they are green in color and performs the photosynthesis. So this is all about your modification of stem. Now we'll go to the leaf. Leaf means ODR में जानिचु पत्र. So leaf is a lateral side ru bahari thibo, generally flattened, flat, tamane flat है कि ओसारी है कि रही थिबो. Structure born on the stem ऊपर definitely leaf develop करिथाय. It develops exogenously, बाहर को बाहरिला, बाहर पटो बाहरिची, so exogenous. भीतर पटो बाहरला, so that is endogenous, but leaves are exogenously develops at the node and bears a bud in its axil. Axil means joint portion. That is called as axillary bud, which later develops into a branch. So later on axillary bud is modified to branch. Leaves originate from shoot apical meristems and are arranged in an acropetal order. So shoot apical meristem ru generally origin होउची एवं acropetal means तले थिबो बड़ा ऊपर थिबो छोटो. acropetal means older at the base. So older leaves are found at the base and younger leaves are present towards apex. So such type of arrangement is called as acropetal order. They are the most important vegetative organs for photosynthesis. So they perform the photosynthesis and they are the most important vegetative organs for photosynthesis because the leaf contains chlorophyll pigment. तो बर्तन गोटे टिपिकल स्ट्रक्चर लीफ आम जाना नॉर्मल लीफ देख देखा जाउची पर्टिकुलरली ये देखा जाउची मंदार फूल टाइप रो लीफ तो ये अठी लेटरल ब्रांच किंबा स्टेम रहिला लीफ एटू बाहरिला ए जो जंक्शन टा रहिला दैट इज एक्सिल तो से छोट स्ट्रक्चर टे बाहरला फ्यूचर रे जे कि स्टेम को मॉडिफिकेशन हबो किंबा लीफ हबो ताकू आमे कहलु एक्सिलरी बड एवं लीफ रो जंक्शन ने मद किछि प्लांट रे छोट कंटा टाइप रो हेयर टाइप रो स्ट्रक्चर देखा जाए ताकू आमे कहबु स्टिप्यूल एवं लीफ रो तळे रहिछि दैट इज ए बेस एवं एक्सपांडेड पोर्शन रहिला दैट इज लामिना किबा लीफ ब्लेड तो लामिना किबा लीफ ब्लेड इज द अपर पार्ट लीफ बेस एंड पेटियोल so a normal leaf contains leaf base petiole and laminar leaf blade and petiole is the stalk of the leaf and lamina is the well expanded green portion of the leaf. So a typical leaf consists of three main parts that is leaf base, lamina or leaf blade and petiole. So leaf is attached to the stem by the leaf base and bear two lateral small leaf like structure called stipules. So stipule is not found in all cases, few leaves it generally possesses stipules like China rose or mandara. In monocotyledons the leaf base expands into a sheath covering गोटे sheath type रो structure cover होइकी थिबा एवं से structure को हम generally कहउछु leaf sheath or sheathing leaf base हमें कहलु. In some leguminous plants leaf base may be become swollen. लीफ बेसटा किछि लिग्यूमिनस प्लांट रे फुली जाइथिबो एंड फुलीबा सोलेन को आमे कहलु पल्विनस लीफ बेस इट जनरली गेट स्वेल फुली जाइथिबो सो सोलेन लीफ बेस इज कॉल्ड एज पल्विनस. देन सेकंड पार्ट इज द पेटियोल. सो पेटियोल इज द स्टॉक ऑफ द लीफ जो पत्र रो डांग रहि ताको आमे कहू पेटियोल. द पेटियोल हेल्प्स होल्ड द ब्लेड टू द लाइट. जनरली ये ब्लेड को लाइट आडको देखाउची. सो लॉन्ग थिन फ्लेक्सिबल पेटियोल्स अलाउ लीफ ब्लेड्स to flutter in wind से पवन रे हलिबा पई झुलिबा पई हेल्प करूची देयर बाय कूलिंग द लीफ एवं जे झुलिला कि हलिबार हेल्प कला ताले कोन बना पवन बाजिले जनरली ठंडा लागिबो एंड कूलिंग द लीफ एंड ब्रिंगिंग फ्रेश एयर टू लीफ सरफेस. तो लीफ सरफेस से कोन हबो ना वेंटिलेशन टाइप रे हेइ गला एवं लीफ सरफेस रे फ्रेश एयर पाइबो. The last one is the laminar leaf blade. Lamina में जानिछु it is the well expanded portion of the leaf. So the lamina or the leaf blade is the green expanded part of the leaf with veins and veinlets. There is usually a middle prominent vein which is known as the midrib. Veins provide rigidity to the leaf blade, tight करिबो vein एवं skeleton आकारे काम करिबो and act as channels of transport of water, minerals and food material. तो ये मदो ट्रांसपोर्ट करिबो कोन ना पानी मिनरल्स है तुम जनरली मिनरल्स जो खनिज पदार्थ एंड फूड मटेरियल्स आर आल्सो ट्रांसपोर्टेड थ्रू द चैनल्स ऑफ मिडरीव वेन वेनलेट्स. एंड नाउ विल गो टू स्टार्ट द वेनेशन. सो व्हाट इज वेनेशन ना अरेंजमेंट ऑफ वेन्स. सो एटी देखो दिस इज द मिडरीव ए साइड रहला दिस द वेन वेन रुजिए बल्ला वेनलेट्स. सो द अरेंजमेंट ऑफ वेन्स एंड द वेनलेट्स इन द लामिना ऑफ लीफ इज टर्म्ड एज वेनेशन. So once again mu authore kahuchi the arrangement of veins and the veinlets in the lamina of leaf is termed as venation. So venation is basically two types. What are these? One is reticulate venation and another is the parallel venation. So what is reticulate? Net type jalo type ro छंदी छंदी थिबे ताको हमें कहबा reticulate. So when the veinlets form a network is called as reticulate venation. Example is dicot or leaves of dicot plant and parallelly सीधा सीधा लंबाड़े लंबाड़े है तो कदली पत्र. So that is called as parallel venation. So when the veins run parallel to each other within a lamina that is called as parallel venation and commonly found in monocot and example is dubgrass किंबा banana एमानंकर देखा जाए parallel venation. Then now we'll go to the types of leaves. So leaves are basically two types depending upon their structure. So one is simple leaf and another is the compound leaf. So simple leaf actually what? Now when lamina of a leaf is entire or when incised completely entire हेइतो कोनसी कटाकटी हेइ नथिबो incised माने कटी कटी थिबो and the incisions do not touch the midrib एवं incision जो कटी कटी खंडिया खंडिया है कि थिबो से midrib को touch करी न थिबो. So such type of leaf is called a simple leaf. Then next is the compound leaf. So when the incisions of the lamina reach up to the midrib, breaking it into a number of leaflets, the leaf is called compound leaf. So when the incisions of the lamina reach up to the midrib, breaking it into a number of leaflets, माने incision completely midrib पाखरे पहुँचिबो किंबा बेस पाखरे पहुँचिबो एवं पत्र को खंड खंड करी काटिबो, then such type of leaf is called as compound leaf. So leaves are basically two types, one is simple, another is the compound. A bud is present in the axil of petiole in both simple and compound leaf. Simple leaf how कि compound leaf how, bud must be present in the axil की junction of the leaf, but not in the axil of leaflets. So leaflet, individual member of the compound leaf is called leaflet. So axil of leaflets never contains bud, but the axil of the compound leaf or the simple leaf contains the bud. Next. So next the compound leaves may be of two types. So pinnately compound and palmately compound. Pinnately compound माने कौन है थिबो पिले ना particularly गोटे major lamina थिबो ता ऊपर छोटो छोटो branch है तो ताको हमें कहबा pinnately compound. So incision starts from margin and continues towards midrib, then such type of compound leaf is called as pinnately compound leaf. If the incision starts from margin, continues towards leaf base, such type of compound leaf is called as palmately compound leaf. So pinnately compound leaf is found in neem, nimba gachar patra, golap fular patra, emane hele pinnately compound leaf. Jodi ame seal cotton किंबा बम्बाक्स जदि जीवा किबा सिमुली तुला जीवा से पत्र हैला तुमरो पर्टिकुलरली जे palmately compound leaves. So pinnately compound leaf example is neem, कृष्णचूड़ा, राधाचूड़ा, ये हैला pinnately compound leaf. palmately compound leaf हैला तुमरो पर्टिकुलरली लेंबू किंबा सिल्क कॉटन किंबा बम्बाक्स किंबा सिमुली तुला किंबा सुनसुनिया साग एमान हेले palmately compound leaf. So एटी देखो मुझे कहली the incision starts from margin and continues towards midrib एवं completely incise है. तो एई टाइप लीफ को हमें कहबा pinnately compound leaf. एवं एटी कौन है incision starts from margin continues towards leaf base. तो एई टाइप compound leaf हमें कहबा palmately compound leaf. So बाम पट रहला pinnately compound leaf this one and डाना पट रहला palmately compound leaf. So palmately compound leaf is found in bombax or silk cotton. Then now we'll go to the phyllotaxy. So what is phyllotaxy? Now how the leaves are arranged upon the stem in a systematic manner. How the leaves are arranged in a stem on the stem in a systematic manner, if we'll read, that is called as phyllotaxy. It may be on the stem or on the branch. It is basically three types. What are these? One is alternate, another is opposite, and last one is the hold. So in alternate actually what happen, at a time only one leaf arise from the node in alternate manner. गोटे परे गोटे ए टाइप रो छंदी है कि थिबो ताको हम कह alternate. Opposite case रे what happen, na at a time two leaves are developed from the node, and if at a time many leaves are developed from the node, that is called as hold. So in out repeat करूची, alternate रे at a time node रू गोटे leaf बाहरिबो एवं सेकेंडली मध्य अल्टरनेट है किछि एंगल मेक करी कि बाहरिबो. ऑपोजिट रे कोन होची ना एट ए टाइम दीटा लीफ बाहरिबो फ्रॉम द नोड एवं एट ए टाइम जदि मेनी लीव्स नोड रू बाहरिला ताको हमें कहबा होल टाइप. सो होल्ड इज फाउंड इन अल्स्टोनिया, ओडिया रे कोआगला छतियाना. ऑपोजिट रे एग्जांपल केलोट्रोपिस, ओडिया रे कोआला अरख, गुआभा पिजुली. देन अल्टरनेट रे कोआगला चाइना रोज मंदार, मस्टर्ड सोरिष, sunflower सूर्यमुखी. तो ये है एग्जांपल ऑफ अल्टरनेट चाइना रोज मस्टर्ड सनफ्लावर. ऑपोजिट द एग्जांपल इज केलोट्रोपिस गुआवा एंड अल्स्टोनिया इज द टाइप इज होल टाइप. तो जो अल्स्टोनिया एटा मैक्सिमम एंट्रांस परीक्षा रे पिले पचारुची तो तुम याको भलो कि मने रखि दो. होल्ड फाइलोटेक्सी इज फाउंड इन अल्स्टोनिया, वेरी वेरी इंपोर्टेंट फॉर नीट एंट्रांस एग्जामिनेशन. सो एटी देखो दिस इज ए alternate type किंबा में कहूँ spiral phyllotaxy. It is opposite देखो at a time दीटा बाहरिला that is called as opposite. At a time gote baharila alternate, at a time menchae baharla, that is hold. So alternate or spiral, opposite and whole, these are the three types of diagram that we have discussed the theory in the previous slide. Then now we will go to start the modification of leaf. How the leaves are modified to perform some specific function. Number one is for support. ये मध्य किसी support करिबो, चढ़ीबारे help करिबो, ये जिनसे करिबो तो support हमें कहिलु. So support रे converted into tendrils, अंकुशी type रो मोडी मोडी जीवो and helps in climbing. एटा किए मोटर गच्छ. Defense protection दबो. शत्रु को भांगिया पाई कि अटैक करिया पाई खाया पाई दबो नाही. एटा किए ना they are modified to spines, cactus. तुम नागफेणी. For food storage, ये मध्य कौन करिबो, they have to store the food materials. एथिरे आसीबो हमर onion, पियाज किबा garlic. Then for photosynthesis, it is to perform the photosynthesis. एथिरे आसीला phyllodes. So photosynthesis phyllodes आसीबो. So it कौन होउछ ना, in some plants the leaves are small, बहुत छोट होई थाए and short lived, अल्प समय पे बंची रुहे. The petioles in these plants expand, बढ़ी जाइतिबो, become green and synthesize food. So example है कि ना Australian acacia किंबा ताको हमें कहूचु Australian saguan. For insectivory, ता माने insect मान को मध्य खाइबो, ताको हमें कहूचु मांसासी गच्छ किंबा ताको हमें कहूचु insectivorous plant. एथिरे आसी कमंडल वृक्ष, सिएला पिचर प्लांट एवं भेनस फ्लाई ट्रैप. एवं insectivory plant किंबा पिचर प्लांट जनरली कोठी देखा जाउची ना जो सॉइल रे मूर्तिकारे नाइट्रोजन शॉर्टेज थिबो. तो नाइट्रोजन रिक्वायरमेंट को फुलफिल करिबा पई दे हैव टू ट्रैप द इंसेक्ट. सो दीज आर द इंसेक्टिवरी. एवं एटा देखा जाउची पर्टिकुलरली मेघालय रे गुटे रहिची खासी एंड जयंतिया हिल्स, से जगह रे पिचर प्लांट किंबा नेपिंथेस खासियाना जनरली दे आर अवेलेबल किंबा ताको हमें कहूचु इंसेक्टिवरस प्लांट. सो नाउ विल गो टू स्टार्ट द इनफ्लोरेसेंस. इनफ्लोरेसेंस कहला माने हमें कहबू ओडिया रे पुष्प गुच्छ, मेंचाए फूल. तुम्हें नेचुराली देखिथिबो किछि जगह रे गोटे फूल फुटिथिबो मंदार फूल, किंतु आउ किछि जगह रजनीगंधा कुह किंबा सोरिष फूल कुह, मेंचा मेंचा कृष्ण चूड़ा कुह, राधा चूड़ा कुह, मेंचा मेंचा फूल फुटिथिबो. So many flowers when developed on an axis, they are generally called as inflorescence. When a single flower is developed on the axis, that is called as solitary. Anyhow, a flower is a modified shoot. It is a shoot modification wherein the shoot apical meristem changes to floral meristem. Shoot apical meristem ti floral meristem को convert होइछि. Internodes do not elongate and the axis gets condensed. एटी internode लंबा है नहीं and axis get condensed. Axis टा मध्य छोटा ही जाइछि. The apex produces different kinds of floral appendages laterally at successive nodes instead of leaves. तो पत्र बदल रे विभिन्न टाइप ऑफ फ्लोरल appendages like calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium leaf बदल रे से माने बाहरी चंती. When a shoot tip transfers into a flower, the shoot tip टा transfer करूची flower को. When the shoot tips transforms into a flower, it is always solitary. ता माने गोटे फूल थिबो solitary है कि थाई. The arrangement of flowers on the floral axis. If many flowers are arranged on the floral axis in a systematic manner, then we will get the term inflorescence. तो मेंचाए फूल जदि floral axis देखा जिवो ताकू हमें कहबा inflorescence. And मेंचाए फूल जदि देखा गला inflorescence रे, so individual flower like structure of the inflorescence is called floret, F-L-O-R-E-T. So depending on whether the apex gets converted into a flower or continues to grow, then we are getting the two major types of inflorescence. So two major type is generally, one is racemose and another is the cymose. So there are two major types of inflorescence are available, that is racemose and cymose. So what is racemose? Now racemose hela the arrangement is acropetal succession, and cymose the arrangement is dekho basipetal order of succession. Now the question is, acropetal means older at the base. Then older florets or older flower at the base and younger florets or younger flower towards apex. तो बड़ा बड़ा फूल गुड़ा तले रहिबो ऊपर को छोट छोट फूल रहिबो तो एठी कोन हबो ना एक्सिस ऑलवेज कंटिन्यूस तो एक्सिस कंटिन्यूस कला तक हमें कहबो अनलिमिटेड और indefinite. In case of basipetal it shows cymos. Then what is basipetal? Now basipetal means older at the apex and younger towards base. तो terminate हे गला old flower ऊपरे ता तळ को सब छोट छोट फूल बाहरला तो एई टाइप रे बाहरला that is definite किंबा terminated किंबा indefinite नुह किंबा unlimited नुह. It is indefinite or unlimited, it is terminated or definite. So it is having the limited growth, it is having the unlimited growth. So resin matre example hela pile particularly brassica soriso एवं साइमोज रो एग्जांपल पर्टिकुलरली हमें देखिबा साइमोज सारका अशोक हेलियोट्रोपियम इंडिकम एमानंकर हला साइमोज. देन किछि इन्फ्लोरेसेंस चित्र हमें तुमको देखैछु तो एठी कोन तक इन्फ्लोरेसेंस इज द पेडांकल stalk of the flower is the particularly pedicel. The when in inflorescence is called as peduncle. So here the bract is developed and 3 florets are developed. So this is the pedicel of the flower stalk and this is the flower of the floret and this is the bract and stalk of the inflorescence is called as peduncle. Eta mone rakhibo the stalk of the inflorescence is called as what? Peduncle. The next is when only a single flower is developed, then that is called as solitary. When the inflorescence axis consists of single flower, that is called as solitary. And many number of florets are developed in a acropetal manner without any stalk, that is called as spike. So spike is the modification of racemose inflorescence. Then spike with a pedicel stalk like structure, that is called as raceme. When the raceme is branched, देखो एटा अच्छी गोटे एटा branch है गला. When the raceme is branched, that is called as compound raceme, or we can say raceme of raceme, or we can say that is panicle. तो प्रथम रे solitary flower अर्थात एटा inflorescence नो single flower अच्छी. Second रे there are so many florets without any individual stalk, so that is called as spike. And spike जहाँ raceme से या किंतु raceme रे individual florets having a pedicel, so that is called as spike with individual florets having pedicel is called as raceme. And when the raceme is branched or raceme of raceme or simply called as compound raceme, that is called as panicle. Then if you will summarize the today's study, then summary is like this: flowering plants exhibit enormous variation in shape, size, structure, mode of nutrition, lifespan, habit and habitat. They have well developed root and shoot systems. Root system is either tap root or fibrous root. Generally, dicotyledonous plants have tap roots while the monocotyledonous plants have fibrous roots. The roots in some plants get modified for storage of food, mechanical support and also to perform the respiration. Then the shoot system is differentiated into stem, leaves, flowers and fruits. The morphological features of stems like the presence of nodes and internodes, multicellular hairs and positively phototropic nature help to differentiate the stems from the roots. Stems also get modified to perform diverse functions such as storage of food, vegetative propagation and protection under different conditions. Next is the leaf. Leaf is a lateral outgrowth of stem developed exogenously at the node. These are green in color to perform the function of photosynthesis. Leaves exhibit marked variation in their shape, size, margin, apex and extent of incision of leaf blade, that is the lamina. Like other parts of plants, the leaves also get modified into other structures such as tendrils, spines for climbing and protection respectively. Thank you everybody. Thank you. Have a good day. अरे सरीगला रे बंद कर दे बहुत काटी दबो एडिट कर दो।